Alright, starting with rhythm 14.1 from that rhythm course, where we started talking about these tied eighth notes here. And when I was trying to kind of get you to figure out what's happening here instead of just telling you, so I always like to get everybody to see if they can figure things out as much as possible on their own. This way you'll remember things better. Basically, you want to think of it like you have like a full eighth note count throughout the whole bar, and that's kind of how you're visualizing things. So if I do that, I'm going to bounce the mouse around here. So counting, you'd have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and so that's where all the eighth notes would be laid out if we had all eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, but for this we're only going to say the part, or say the part of the rhythm that we play. So even though we're looking at this entire bar broken up into all eighth notes, we're just going to say what part of each beat we're playing. So the count here, we'd have 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. Boom. So hopefully you remember that and it makes sense. If you didn't remember it, hopefully that brought it all back. So when you practice this, you're always going to strum down on the down beat. You're going to strum up on the up beat. So even though you can do all downstrokes, we don't want to miss out on developing smooth strumming skills. So that's one thing we do when we're focused on these eighth note rhythms. And focus on playing with a light touch. So you don't want to hit the strings really hard. Nice easy touch, so this way you can get to much faster rhythms without, beating the heck out of those strings. Because if you pick too hard, it can actually slow you down. So I'm going to just demonstrate this at 2 speeds here. Now what I'm going to ask you to do next week is demonstrate all 4 things that are going to be covered in this video at 60. I want to hear you count along with it just to make sure you can, and see if anything stands out as something that needs to be corrected. If you can count it along at 120, that would be great. I'm going to ask you to do that as well. If you want to go faster, you're welcome to do so, but all I'm asking for the 4 things covered in this video, just be able to play it at 60 and 120, and I will be happy with that. So that being said, here we go with the first thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 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 4. And 120. Yeah, don't do that. Right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 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 4. Alright. On to rhythm 15.1. And same thing, I'll be asking you to play it at a 60 and 120 next week, making sure you're, tap your foot the whole time you play. Got to do that. really helps build fantastic rhythm skills and allows you to, you know, play really fast and feel the beat. So I think that's one thing we talked about. You notice when you were recording, you couldn't tell if you were on time or not. I think we talked about that. I might be wrong. But yeah, so tapping your foot is going to help that a lot. So here we go. 60 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 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 3, 4. Done. Make sure you hit that resolve chord, or else it doesn't count. All right, 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 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 3, 4. Done. All right, now the new stuff. So we got another different rhythm here. So before I say what the count is, I'd like you to pause the video and see if you can figure out what the count is first. You may have already done so looking at the tabs. Alright, so here we go. So remember, you got, this is all of beat 1, this is all of beat 2, this is all of beat 3, and it's all of beat 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and done. Of course, you're going to do the repeat. So same thing, always strum down on the downbeat and up on the upbeat. When we get to 16th note stuff, that'll be different because we're dividing the beat up into 4 pieces when you do 16th notes. But for right now, developing good 8th note reading skills and whatnot. So here it is at 60. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 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 done. And 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 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 done. And the other new one, we got something a bit different here. So again, see if you can figure out what the count is before you follow the video. Alright, so here comes the explanation. So this symbol right here is an 8th note rest. So you don't play on the downbeat of 1. So that's all of beat 1 right now. There's beat number 2, beat number 3, and there's beat number 4. So when we go into the next bar, see this is tied from the upbeat of 4 to the downbeat of 1. So these notes here, in parentheses, you don't play that chord. It's just being carried over into the next bar. basically anytime you see notes in the tablature that are in parentheses, you're probably not going to play them. That's definitely the case here. You're not going to play any of the chords in parentheses. So here's all of beat 1, all of beat 2, beat 3, and there's beat 4. When you do the repeat, what I want you to do is let this E5 chord ring out across beat 1. If I was to make it look exactly how it sounds, I'd have to write out the entire chord progression again. So this way the E5 chord would be tied across into the next bar. So we're just going to pretend that on the repeat we see this tied across to beat number 1 here. So basically the only time you acknowledge the 8th note rest is at the very beginning here. And you're about to hear exactly how it should sound. So you're going to be starting with an upstroke because you're coming in on the up beat. So you still got to pay attention to where beat number 1 begins, because that does need to be taken into consideration. So I'm going to be counting off 4 beats as I usually do, so you can hear exactly when I'm going to be starting. And I'm going to say only the part of the rhythm that we're playing. So the rhythm count for this would be and 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and whoa, the mouse stopped moving. What happened? Computer is lagging. Let's try that again. So we have and 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3. Oh my goodness. Well, this mouse is not cooperating right now. I don't know what's going on. It sounds like the computer's trying to process something. I don't know, some background program. Well, I'm just going to play it instead of trying to get the mouse to bounce the right way. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. What? My goodness. I was about to play an E5 for some reason. Must have been thinking of the other one. Sorry about that. Here we go, for real. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 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 done. So that last chord, the resolve chord at the end of the progression, that's the only time you're going to play on the downbeat of 1. Alright, 120 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 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 done. Alright. So, and just to recap here, recap of the recap. So, all 4 of those, I'm going to ask you to demonstrate them next week at the 60 and 120 beats a minute, foot tapping the whole time, counting out loud the whole time, at least at 60. If it seems to be too challenging to do at 120, not a big deal, but definitely want to hear you count it out loud as you play at 60 beats a minute. Make sure you're always strumming down on the downbeat. So basically when the metronome clicks, you're strumming down. Every time that metronome clicks, you're strumming down. You keep that back and forth motion the whole time. Constant down, up, down, up, down, up. Nice and smooth, and try and avoid any fast, jerky motion. Nice and smooth the whole time, and strum lightly. This way you're not hitting the strings too hard. So if you have any questions with this, please let me know, and I will see you again on Tuesday. Yes,